Having monetary goals is great for your small business because it provides structure and it helps set goals for your business. It helps guide you to the direction that you want to go to. And ultimately, a business is not really a business unless you start making some money. But having a monetary goal also is very stressful. It exudes so much internal pressure for you to make a certain amount. Mind you, a goal that literally no one cares about except for yourself. So having that monetary goal, whether it's monthly, quarterly, or even yearly, has literally driven me so insane. If you're new here, my name is Indy. I'm known as Doodles by Indy on Instagram and TikTok. But going back to monetary goals, having them has led to so much burnout, not wanting to create as much, doing less markets, and ultimately having the first year in 5 years where I didn't make year-over-year sales growth. Now, there can be actual other factors that contributed to a decline in year-over-year growth in sales. For example, again, doing less markets for one, and two, having a new full-time job that is quite demanding versus having a job prior to that in the first 4 years where it was very chill or relaxing. I had so much time to work on my small business. But I do believe having a monetary goal is not always the best idea as someone who is super hyper fixated on numbers and gets disappointed when I don't meet those numbers. And that's not even to say to reach a certain yearly goal. It's about not making a certain amount for a month or even at a particular market. All of these factors are out of my control. You can't control the amount of people that show up to a market. You can't control how much or if they're willing to spend any dollars that day. And lastly, you can't control the weather. There was a recent market that I went to where it was literally snowstorm, blizzard, and I was a vendor at that market. And of course, I applied for this market well in advance, months in advance. And so obviously I couldn't predict the weather months ahead. So when I went to the market, I did not do that well. And it makes sense. If it's snowing so heavily, no one's gonna want to drive in the snow for a market. And that ultimately impacted my sales and then trickled down to the mood that I was in because I didn't make a certain amount in that market. I feel like usually when you don't meet certain goals, especially monetary, that really affects your mood and oftentimes gives you a negative experience for that particular event. And that's all to say that you can't control the dollars that end up in your pocket. What you can control, however, is whether you show up or not, how much product you're bringing to the market, how much content that you can possibly make at a certain market, how many vendors you choose to interact with, and so on. So this year, I'm going to try and make non-monetary goals, but goals that are still going to build my business up. So my first goal this year is to create more sticker sheets, specifically 4 sticker sheets. And that sounds very specific, but as a business that started off with sticker sheets, I have not really made a lot of sticker sheets since then. And that was almost 5 years ago. And that's because I started making other products. I made single stickers, I made hats, I made clay, I made pins, keychains, and a wide assortment of products that at the end of the day, I completely forgot to make sticker sheets. But the fact is, I love making sticker sheets. I love putting a jumble of stickers together that all fit into a theme, into one sheet. And I love a good bang for your buck of like multiple different stickers for one price. Plus, I've been seeing so many journaling videos and junk journaling that I want to contribute to this craze of putting things down on paper again. I want to be a part of the journaling junk journal community. So for my goal this year, I want to make 4 sticker sheets, 1 per quarter, because I feel like that's a doable amount with the other stuff that I'm hoping to launch this year. I feel like sticker sheets is not going to be my only focus. So having one per quarter, I think, is very doable. And my next goal is to be more intentional about content. I feel like every year, my goal with content in general has been to just be more consistent. And I feel like that's the goal for everyone, to be more consistent, post more regularly on their social media, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok. And like these people, I have the same goal. I'm always someone who goes super heavy, strong, head first, and then quickly crash and burn, because I just end up burning out. I feel like I always end up running out of content, and then I scramble to find content to post because I try to post every single day. And it's always these like last minute trends or audio that I end up finding last minute while I'm scrolling, and I'm like thinking in my head, do I have content or videos filmed that I can just compile real quick to fit into whatever trend or audio that may be? And ultimately, this routine has become a quantity versus quality scenario where I focus too much on quantity rather than quality. Always chasing the quantity, because if you watch any influencer who has a lot of followers or subscribers, and those that in particular have grown quickly, their number one tip is always like, just keep posting, just like quantity over quality, because the more you post, the more someone is able to find you, which makes sense, obviously. Like, the more you put out there, the more likelihood they can find you. But at the end of the day, I feel like people also want quality, and that too makes sense. Like, they're not gonna want something that's half-assed or that doesn't make sense. So throughout last year, the thought of posting every day, posting multiple times a day, post whatever it is that's going through your mind, your life, just post it. And all of that just became very overwhelming very quickly. So I think the workaround here is to be more intentional about each platform that you're posting on. And that may sound very obvious to some, but very difficult to execute in practice. And when I say intention for each platform, I feel like the answer for a lot of you, or a lot of people in general, is to grow your subscriber, grow your follower count. But just like with monetary goals, it's a number that you can't really control. You can't control whether someone follows you or not. What you can control is the number of videos you put out and the type of videos you put out. So for my intention this year, it is to cater to different audiences within each platform. For Instagram, I feel like it's more vibey, cozy, vlog-like. It's more curated moments and me telling a story about my small business. It could be process, me in markets, me just in general, and my thoughts on small businesses, and putting that into a 6 to 30-second story form. It's a platform where I want to build relationships, be more engaging with my followers and other small businesses. On YouTube, that's where you'll see a lot more informational videos. You'll see more long-form thinking, strategic planning, and occasionally you'll have vlogs where you'll see more of my life than just a 30-second clip on Instagram and TikTok. And lastly, I feel like my TikTok is kind of like a place where I just put no effort to, in the way of I'm just reposting whatever I put on Instagram and YouTube onto TikTok to kind of check off a box that I posted on TikTok. But if you look at my TikTok, you'll see that my engagements, my view rates are horrendous. And I think that's because I don't put any effort into my TikTok to really cater to the audience that is there. The content that I'm making on Instagram and YouTube is just not the audience that is on TikTok. For me personally, I really like these chatty, get ready with me videos, very casual videos that people put together. And it's like, I'm talking to my friends on FaceTime or something, just like listening to their day and like what they're going through. And I feel like people say like post what you like to watch. And so I think for me, that's the content that I want to put out on my TikTok. And so I feel like those are the type of content I want to post on TikTok. Those not overly edited, raw, silly, goofy kind of videos that I don't want to put on more curated feed like Instagram. So at the end of the day, I do feel like TikTok is just people wanting to have fun. Like they just want to play with filters. They just want to be casual and blunt and get rid of the curatedness of Instagram. And right now, that's not what I'm doing. So I feel like going into this year, 2026, is the kind of content that I'll be producing for TikTok. So TLDR, my intentions for this year when it comes to content is to cater to different audiences for each platform, because not every platform needs to see the same version of you. My next goal is to create series. One of the challenges that I'm facing across a lot of my platforms, but particularly in YouTube, is that I'm putting a lot of content out there, but at the same time, I'm not giving them a reason to follow and stick around. For example, I posted a video when I first started on Etsy ads and how that did for, I think, like Black Friday, or I think I tested out just a week or so of running ads, but then I never ended up following up with it, of like, how did it do past the 30 days of putting money into ads? Like, did it get better with no ads, or did it get worse? I just never did a follow-up video, and I feel like people like to follow kind of a series. They want to follow your journey, and I didn't give them a journey to follow. And so because there's no journey, there's no reason to subscribe to follow whatever journey that you didn't put out. So the goal here is to create 2 series. I want to have one that is informational, just like an Etsy ads video, and then another one that's more fun and personal. For example, like trying new different art mediums with me or something like that. I haven't fully figured it out yet, but again, I have all year to do so. So I'm going to do 2 series at least, so that people can follow along on my journey. And then the next goal is to have less screen time. And I feel like I've been actually seeing this a lot lately, of people trying to just not use their phone a lot. And so if you are on that journey too, please let's keep each other accountable. And if you have not looked at your screen time data analytics recently, I really encourage you to do so, because I was shocked at the amount of time I spend on my phone on a daily basis. Spoilers, it was like 4 to 5 hours a day on my phone. I feel like I'm on my phone like throughout the day in quick spurts, so it doesn't feel like 4 to 5 hours, but the numbers don't lie, and it's kind of scary how much time I spend a day on my phone. And those 4 to 5 hours a day, again, really adds up at the end of the month. Like, you could be spending hundreds of hours on your phone a day or a month. Can you imagine just how much more productive, or how much you could be doing with those extra 4 to 5 hours? Like, I could be reading, I could be making more videos, I could be doing a whole new hobby, or being creative and just doing grandma hobbies if I just didn't look at my phone so often. Ultimately, I just want to be able to create more and consume less. So I've been using the Roots app, and it's not sponsored or anything. I just really need to figure out a way for me to not use my phone as often, because I feel like I've been putting it away in a different side of the house, and I still end up finding it and using it. So I figured that I need a new way. So I've been using the Roots app, which allows you to basically block out any app that is distracting you or ones that you're consuming the most. For example, Instagram and TikTok is something that I've just been using a lot of, and it's the one that takes up the most amount of screen time for me. And so what you're able to do actually is set the amount of time that you want to be spending on each app, and you can limit it. And once you set that number up, once you reach the screen time of each of the apps, for example, if I set 15 minutes on Instagram or something and I've already reached that 15 minutes for the day, I can no longer go on that app. It literally blocks you from going onto it unless you voluntarily unblock it, but that defeats the purpose of the app itself if you're just going to unblock it. And I feel like it definitely helped a lot with my low attention span and the need to continuously scroll on TikTok or something, and having it blocked is just life-changing. I don't know. I just feel like if it's locked, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do something else. And also it syncs with the screen time that's already inside your phone already, so you can quickly see on the app like which app you're using the most. And I don't know, it just helps me visually see like, oh, I've been using like, I don't know, like my Duolingo a lot. And I've been improving on my TikTok and my Instagram. So I think maybe next time, this is a bad example because I feel like Duolingo is one of those acceptable apps that I can go on a lot because I'm just learning. But if it was like TikTok or something, I didn't initially have it in my Roots app, then I would block that one the next time so that I don't continually look at that as often. And then also one other thing is this app has different challenges. For example, Sunday Reset, they have a certain amount of hours that you can use your phone. And for me, I'm someone who loves a challenge. And if it's like a goal that I can work towards, you know I'm there, even if it's like not looking at my phone. So being able to complete it, and I'm also completionist. Like I have to complete a challenge. So if not looking on my phone helps me complete it, like I'm there. But hopefully like having this app this year really helps me with just not looking at my phone so much. I just want to be able to do other things than go on an app to watch someone do something so silly that really doesn't do anything for me or benefit my life at all. So yeah, less screen time this year. Those are all the goals that I want to achieve this year. It's not a lot of goals because I feel like having too many goals sometimes could be really daunting. So I think a good 4 seems doable, and I feel like those goals kind of can be reiterated throughout the year. For example, if I end up doing more than 4 sheets by mid-year, I can maybe up the 4 sheets to, I don't know, 6 or 8 sheets by the end of the year. I think this is a good starting point, and it can always, again, be reiterated when you relook at your goals mid-year or on a quarterly level. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you stick around for more artists, small business, vlog-like videos from me. But until then, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this.